Do people in Canada have cable, like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NordCast. It is Friday, March 28th, 2024. It is episode number 98. I am your host here, Nordic 97, joined with Carter. Carter, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. Baseball is back. So just kind of taking in as many games as I can. Phillies are tied right now, and the Blue Jays are getting absolutely skull-fucked.
Well, you got 162 games to watch the Phillies have success and the Blue Jays just be absolutely garbage. So hope you are ready to enjoy that. And we also got Jack. Jack, how we doing?
Doing good.
How are your Cubs?
Cubs started off cold in Tokyo, but it's the Dodgers, so what can you do? But a lot of season left. They play in Arizona tonight, so.
Yeah. All right. We'll have Jack here for a little bit to join us, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things that we need to get into here. Let's start off with the news out of Philadelphia. John Tortorella has been fired as the head coach from the Philadelphia Flyers. I am a little bit shocked that it's happening right now. Not shocked that it's happened overall because we knew it was coming. The Philadelphia Flyers have been literally so bad post the trade deadline and honestly post Four Nations. I think they have 4 wins since the Four Nations break, and I think half of them come in regulation. The other 2 have been in overtime or shootout, and 2 of them came in the month of March. And again, neither of them were in regulation. So it's just been overall a brutal stretch of games here for the Flyers. They make the moves at the trade deadline. They have just been absolutely terrible down the stretch. It's been some hard hockey to watch, if we're being honest. So, it's been a rough time for Philadelphia. I do have a press conference that I do want to play from Tortorella a couple of days ago, and I have a lot of thoughts, but I want to go to Carter first, who's also a Flyers fan, because I haven't really heard his thoughts. Carter, what are you thinking about this?
It was expected, to be honest. Not really expected right now, but expected before the start of next season. I think going into the hiring, I thought it was going to be good. Give some of the young guys a little bit of toughness and try to up that work ethic early. So then kind of down the line, that work ethic is there and it continues to be there and grow because it's just been kind of installed in them since the beginning. But yeah, no, I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it because, I mean, we never really were good with Tortorella, and we'll have to see how it goes when we're without him. So yeah, I don't expect us to be much better without him, but I do expect some of our players to perform a little bit better.
Yeah, this is good news and bad news for some players. I think it's really good news for guys like Matvei Michkov, some of the young players on the team, Cam York, etc. Before I go to this press conference and I absolutely unload all my thoughts, Jack, do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't understand why they didn't wait like 3 more weeks till the end of the year, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit weird, to be honest, but I guess Briere wanted to just get it done now. So what I'm about to play here is a press conference from John Tortorella after their loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I should be able to play this. I don't think there's copyright, but I guess we'll find out. So here is what Tortorella had to say after the loss to the Maple Leafs.
Offense, but was it their defense that caused a lot of problems tonight? Because it seemed like they had things buttoned down pretty good and kept you guys from jeopardy.
No, they outplayed us.
York only plays the 3 minutes to start here. Is this something that you and the coaching staff want to use as a learning experience?
I'm not going to discuss that with you.
Do you think this is a game, John, where the team just needs to maybe simplify things against a team like the Leafs, get pucks to the net, bodies to the net?
It's my job to prepare this team in this type of situation. haven't done a good enough job past couple of games.
These last 2 games, are you sensing frustration setting in? Maybe it's a cumulative effect from last week playing well, not getting results.
Well, when you're in this type of situation and you're losing all the time and there's nothing at the end of the tunnel for you, there's certainly going to be some frustration. But this falls on me. I'm not really interested in learning how to coach this type of season where we're at right now. But I have to do a better job. So this falls on me, getting the team prepared to play the proper way.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. That comment, this falls on me. I am not really interested in teaching this kind of a season. If there wasn't already a sense of, like, he's not going to come back, that was the nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin for Tortorella this year. And you ask, why did he get fired with only like 9 games left in the regular season? That's why. That comment is why he got fired today. I'm surprised he didn't get fired yesterday, if we're being completely honest, because you say that, and I'm gonna help him here in a second and kind of back him up a little bit, because I think some people took that the wrong way. But you say that, you're gonna get fired. If you say, I'm not interested in teaching this team this type of season, you're going to get fired. Now, in Tortorella's defense, I'm going to say this. It may have been taken a little bit out of context what he was trying to say. He wasn't saying that he didn't want to teach this team this type of season. He's saying it in a sense that he doesn't want this team to be where they are right now. And I'm like, well, no shit. You think I want this team to be where they are right now? So it's up to you to kind of adjust and get them through this. And I said this a lot on podcasts, on YouTube videos, on TikToks, that I thought that John Tortorella was the right coach for the wrong time. The right coach, wrong time. If we were a team that was contending, if we were a team that was fighting for a playoff spot, then I would be 100% okay with John Tortorella being the coach. But we're a team that is young. We're a team that is rebuilding. We're a team that is building for the future. We're not contending. And John Tortorella treated a lot of these players and treated this team generally like they were contenders. And I'm just not okay with that. And I think, you see the decisions he's made with Matvei Michkov this year. You see how the team has just been so inconsistent, and now when they finally do get consistent, they're consistently ass. The writing was on the wall that Tortorella was going to get fired and they were going to move in a new direction. I think the comments from Tortorella was really the nail in the coffin as to why he was let go and taken out of his job. And I said it. I made a 17-minute YouTube video on my channel this week. Literally today, talking about Tortorella and everything. One thing that I brought up was last season. Last season screwed us over so hard. Because if we either last year just tanked and weren't good, we could have ended up with somebody from that top 5 that got drafted. Imagine the Philadelphia Flyers with a guy like Evan Demidov, or a guy like Caden Lidstrom. Or even if we got lucky and got first overall, if we were that bad, and we got Macklin Celebrini. Imagine where this Flyers team would be. But instead, we decided to be really good, which was fun. I enjoyed it. But now that I look at it now, we had that March collapse, like similar to what we're having this year, where we just completely shit the bed and missed the playoffs. If we made the playoffs last year, there's a little bit of a different narrative. Maybe it doesn't look like as a fluke, and maybe the Flyers make some moves to make the team better in the short term. But since we were good for a lot of the year, then we shit the bed and missed the playoffs, that completely screwed everything. And it took a year away from this rebuild in a sense where if we tanked and we got someone like Demidov, I think we would be in a completely different spot than we are in right now. And just because of that, it screwed us over last year. And now we head into this draft where we don't really know what the direction is of this team. I guess we're going to rebuild. We don't know how long it's really going to take. We hope to be back in the next 2 to 3 years, but I don't know. And this is a day in Philadelphia where it's just like you don't know the sense of direction. I don't know the sense of direction for this team moving forward. We're in a rebuild. I have no idea whether we're going to be better or worse next year. I have absolutely zero clue. So, honestly, I'm glad it's happening. I'm sad it's happening, too, because I have loved Tortorella for a long time. I've met him in person. Great guy. I've had a conversation with him. He's a good person, and I think he is a good coach. But again, it was at the wrong time. It wasn't a good fit, and it just wasn't working out. So, Carter, I don't know if you have anything to add on that. I kind of just went on a little bit of a tangent. I do have some more that I want to say, but I wanted to go to you first if you had anything to chime in with.
I mean, I don't know if there was really a right time for him there. If it's the badness of this team that it is, that he's not interested in coaching, then don't take the job. You knew kind of what you were signing up for. This team was not good. We just traded Claude Giroux, signaling that we know we're going to be bad and this is what we're going to have to do. It also doesn't help that we don't have a starting goalie at all. So that's also just absolutely fantastic. It also doesn't help that, we're not getting production out of our top guys, really. And, there's not a whole heck of a lot to say in regard to that. So, I don't know. I think in another world there's a chance that Tortorella's our guy, but it's not here.
Yeah, it's not here in Philadelphia. Not at this time. Everything is just seemingly a disaster right now. Again, the goaltending, as you said, hasn't been good this year. We've had 3 goalies move through, which have been very good for the tank and have been very bad combined. But I really don't know the direction for any of it. I don't know who our goalie is going to be next year. I would assume it's Urson and probably Fedotov. I think Kolosov has kind of found his way out. You're shaking your head. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think it'll be Bjornsson. I think he'll make the team next year.
You think Bjornsson's going to come from the WHL, not have any AHL, and just come straight to the Flyers?
I'll be a backup.
I don't know if I could see that with Fedotov on his contract.
$20.
I don't know if that's really possible.
$20.
$20? I'm not betting $20 with you. Actually, no, I will because I'll win. Because I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now, they're not going to bring a WHL goaltender in to be the backup without giving him any NHL, any AHL time or anything whatsoever. We don't even know if he's coming over next year.
Dude,
what
crazy.
Is $20 in Canadian currency?
It's like 5 cents for you.
Yeah, it's like 5 cents. I'd be paying you 5 cents, quite literally. So,
seriously?
No, obviously not. It's not 5 cents.
What? Okay. What is
like,
20?
It's like
it's not same, is it?
No, $20 Canadian in American is like 18.
No, $20 Canadian is $14.
Okay, so that's not that much of a difference.
Really? Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys ever see on the back of books? It's like US 20, like Canada like 17.
No. It's the other way around.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So
oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, so I'd be making more money. You'd be losing money, idiot.
Friggin' idiot.
Wow, that's surprising. Wow. $20 in Canadian.
All right, guys. This is no longer a hockey podcast. We're just going to talk about the economy, the political and economic state of the world right now.
It's a political pod now. But yeah, going back to it. I'm sad that Tortorella's gone, but I'm glad that it happened because it was the reality. Now, here's my next question. Who is going to become the next head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers? This is the question that needs to be at hand here. And my number one guy, my by far number one person that I want to become the Flyers' next head coach is David Carl from the
No, that's my guy. It's the Hawks guy.
David Carl?
Nope.
Nope, he's the Flyers right now. David Carl has 2 NCAA championships with Denver, has 2 World Junior goals with Team USA. he should be by far the number one option for the Philadelphia Flyers, because not only has he coached young players, there's a lot of Flyers that have been to Denver, like Bobby Brink went to Denver. There's Massimo Rizzo, I think, also went to Denver too. There's a couple other guys that also went to Denver as well who may know Carl through his systems and things like that. And I think that it's a great idea to bring in someone like him who can teach the young guys, knows the young guys, can get a lot of things out of them. And we're a young team. And if they go out and get David Carl, I would be thrilled. What do you guys think about that? I know Jack wants him on the Hawks, but Carter.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that'd just be jealousy. He's a great coach. So
yeah, he's got to be the number one guy, honestly.
100%.
What is it, Carter? Have you thought of any other options that you think could go? I've heard like Rick Tockett's name out there. I've heard Ian Lapierre from Lehigh Valley might get called up, but there's a couple options. Have you thought about it at all?
No, not really. I haven't really done a deep dive into it yet. So
is Carl like your number one guy?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, he's by far my number one
guy. The awards that this guy has is like outstanding. So to get him would be unbelievable.
Yeah, the hardware that he's bringing in is like second to none. So I think Carl should be the number one option there. But yeah, that's what we got with John Tortorella. We're definitely going to have more, I'm sure, as time goes along when we do our end of season evaluations. I'm sure we're going to talk about the Flyers a lot with the head coaching. But let's move on from that. The Winnipeg Jets have clinched the playoff spot, the first team in the Western Conference to do so. I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to go to Carter first because, Carter, you're the Jets fan. How has this season been for you?
I do have to head out, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, heads out on the Jets talk, of course. See ya. But
all right, Carter, it's just me and you now. So how do you feel about the Jets season so far?
Well, there's nothing to explain it other than just pure happiness. This season has been absolutely unbelievable. I think from a spot that no one thought that we were going to be, including myself, I didn't think that we'd be here, and to see that we are is something that I'm quite happy with. So. It's been an unbelievable season, and I'm ready for playoffs.
Yeah, it's been an unreal year. Did you think that Winnipeg was going to be first in the West?
Not even close. Not even close. I didn't even think we'd be first in the Central.
Yeah, I agree. I had no idea they were going to be where they are right now. It's been an unreal year from Winnipeg, and seeing how like a player like Connor Hellebuck has really stepped in and kind of stolen the show has been also unreal as well. Again, we talked about it in our award ballot, which is coming up later today, that he has been absolutely remarkable and has been somebody that I've been following the entire year who could win the Hart and the Vezina, to be honest with you. So it's not out of the question. And I think like overall this year, seeing guys like Kyle Connor and Gabriel Velarde and Mark Scheifele, like that first line has been one of my favorite lines to watch in the NHL this year. And I just think that overall it's been such an unreal and entertaining season from the Winnipeg Jets. Carter, what are some players that really kind of stood out to you that, you know, may not be known, like as well known in the media?
Well, I think the number one guy is going to be Dylan Samberg. That guy's just an absolute defensive weapon. The defensive plays that he makes that just go unnoticed by everyone is quite impressive. He makes Nationals just got a home run. Anyways, the defensive plays that he makes is quite impressive. So he's definitely my guy there. Another guy, Colin Miller's really started to step up as well. Luke Schenn is going to be a huge part of our playoff run. Just the intensity of the plays, like when he played in that game against Washington, he was getting under skin. He was making hits. He was sticking up for teammates. And this is a guy who's been here for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, you were there, actually. That's right.
So very, very happy with Luke Schenn. And then on the front end, Nikolai Ehlers is going to – I think that he's going to be the game changer when it comes down to to playoff time here. I think that he's going to end up having to be the best player on this Jets team because guys are going to line match that Connor, Scheifele. Hopefully Velarde's back in time, that line there. So that's a guy that I'd look out for if I was paying close attention to Winnipeg.
What about anybody offensively? One guy that has really stood out to me is Cole Perfetti. I mean, he's not a guy that's like racking up a lot of points, but you see him out there. He's making plays. He's very noticeable out there on the ice. How have you felt about a guy like Perfetti this year?
He's been really good. He's definitely had a much better season than I think a lot of people expected. I expected him to have a good year, but I was hoping for a little bit bigger of a step. But I guess, he's 21, 22 years old, so baby steps do happen. So I'll take that over nothing. Another guy who I think has kind of been going underappreciated as well, Nino Niederreiter. He's been pretty good for us there, especially as a third-line guy. So I've really liked him, and he's a guy who I could see finishing his career in Winnipeg.
Yeah, Niederreiter's been there for a good little bit now. He's been somebody that I've looked forward to on Winnipeg. Just overall, how that line's played. They can roll all four lines and not have to worry about it, to be honest. I think all four lines have their niche. They're all effective in their own way, and I think that that's huge for a playoff team like Winnipeg. And that's why I don't think like this year is going to be like a first-round exit like some other people are saying. So, yeah, the Jets likely going to be first in the Western Conference. To be honest with you, though, Carter, I got to ask. I got two questions for you. Do you want the President's Trophy?
No. I don't want it anymore. No.
And why? And why?
It's cursed.
That is true. It is true. So you're basically like, here you go, Washington. You can have it.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
Yeah. So you guys are going to finish first in the Central, first in the Western Conference. That means as of right now, I feel like I've asked you this question a couple of times before. I feel like as of right now, it seems like you are going to play one of St. Louis, Vancouver, Calgary, or I guess Utah. But Utah, I feel like, is kind of falling out of the race a little bit. But I got to ask you, which one of those four teams are you the most scared to play?
Well, I think we touched base on it last episode.
Yeah, fine. I'm asking you it again, though.
No, I know. I'm just saying it hasn't really changed. It's still St. Louis. This is the hottest team in the league since the Four Nations break. And that's one thing that comes down to in playoffs is the hot teams usually stay hot. And so if the Jets can do what they can to beat them there, and I think we'll be okay.
Does it make you a little bit worried that you're seeing them go off on an absolute tear and you're like, I don't know?
No, not like a huge kind of deal. Mainly because I think that if they do start to get too hot, eventually they're going to take over Minnesota.
That's true.
Because right now they are. Yeah, they're 2 points back of the Wild right now. And I think Minnesota does have a game in hand. But I think I would rather play the Wild. But still, I don't want to play St. Louis because they scare me.
Yeah, so you could end up playing Minnesota. That'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. And I heard Kaprizov is apparently back.
Mm-hmm. Which I will say, my first ever playoff game was Jets versus Wild. So
back in 2018, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. What are some negatives or things that you're worried about with the Winnipeg Jets heading into the playoffs?
Well, it's a guy that we talked about who's having an unbelievable year, Connor Hellebuck. It's going to come down to if he's going to perform in the playoffs, which I think he will. He'll figure things out real quick. Another one of my worries is Gabe Velarde somehow not returning. Now, they never really specified what his injury was, but I think that he's going to play. He's going to play in the postseason. It's just going to be a matter of when. I hope that we can get him back for round one, but realistically, I'd be expecting if we make it to round two, Gabe Velarde will be back.
Well, it seems like Velarde is going to miss the rest of the regular season. That is what's confirmed. We had John Liu from TSN came out and said that he was deemed to miss the playoffs, but then TSN took that down. So we don't exactly know if he's going to miss the playoffs or any time in the playoffs. My guess is he's going to miss a little bit, if not the first round, if that's what we're hearing. But again, as you said, I think when you get to the second round, I think he'll pretty much be back, and I think you guys will be okay. But yeah, missing Velarde is a hit to that first line. But you saw Iafallo come out in that game against Washington, and he looked pretty good, to be honest with you. I think even though he didn't get the first goal, I thought he tipped it in front. But he did kind of create that screen in front of the goaltender for Morrissey to shoot that from the point and get that in the net. So gotta give.
I wouldn't be too mad if Iafallo was playing on that first line, but I think that I'd rather it be Velarde.
Yeah, 100%. I would rather Velarde as well for Winnipeg. Now that being said, we touched base on St. Louis a little bit. We're gonna just hop right into the St. Louis Blues, who have been on an absolute tear. 7 straight wins over the last couple of weeks. They have kind of almost firmly put themselves in a playoff spot. They are 3 points ahead of Vancouver, 4 points ahead of Calgary, and 8 points ahead of Utah as well. So the the St. Louis Blues have put themselves in just a perfect spot. What has your evaluation been on St. Louis through these last couple of weeks?
Well, as I kind of said, I think that they've been the hottest team in the league as of late. They have the best record since the Four Nations break.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so they have the best record since then, and they're the hottest team in the league. They have, I think, 4 or 5 losses total, 3 of them in regulation. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of info on that, but they are definitely a team that I don't want to play.
Now let's go through their games here on this 7-game winning streak. The first game, they're playing Minnesota. They win 5-1. Next game on a back-to-back, they play Anaheim. They win 7-2. They play Nashville. They win 4-1. They play Vancouver. They win that one in a 4-3 overtime thriller. They play Chicago. They win 4-1. They play Nashville. They also win 4-1. Then they play Montreal, and they win 6-1. Now they play Nashville again tonight for the 3rd time this month, the 3rd time in the last 2 weeks. So again, it's just been the stretch that St. Louis has been on has been unreal. But I do want to say all of the teams that they've played on this stretch, except for 2, are below the playoff line. So that's the other thing you got to factor in there as well. And they've had a very easy schedule down the road. Again, they play Nashville tonight. They play Colorado on Saturday. Then moving into April, they play Detroit. They play the Penguins, 2 very winnable games. They play Colorado again. Then they play Winnipeg. Then they play Edmonton. And then they play Seattle. So and then Utah as well. So they have a lot of games in there in that stretch that are very, very winnable. And I think basically all of the odds are stacked in St. Louis's favor to take that final playoff spot. And even as Carter said, Minnesota hasn't been particularly great since the Four Nations. They're okay, they're 500. They're now coming up behind Minnesota. They're only 2 points back from the Minnesota Wild. So it just how St. Louis has put themselves in this spot has just been simply remarkable to watch, honestly. So I do want to go through some of the stats, and I want to go through some of the stats from the players on this team since the start of the winning streak, which started on the 15th. Jordan Kyrou leads the entire league in points since then with 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points. Dylan Holloway, second. He has been an unreal ad for the St. Louis Blues since being offer sheeted in the offseason. 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. And then Robert Thomas, 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points as well. That line has been absolutely star-studded, has been absolutely unreal. And I think a lot of people don't even consider it. Justin Falk as well, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. Jake Neighbors, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. But somebody for me who has been just so entertaining to watch is Jordan Binnington. The goalie for the St. Louis Blues has been one of the best goalies since the end of the Four Nations break and on this winning streak. 4-0, a 9.30 and a 0.1 or a 1.73 goals against. Those are the best numbers before Darcy Kemper. So he has like the second best numbers since the start of the St. Louis Blues winning streak. He has been just so unbelievably good. And Carter can attest to this. The Four Nations really helped him out with his career. It really boosted him.
Yeah, 100%. He looked so good in the Four Nations that, just really helped him change kind of the narrative as well. So,
what do you think is the odds that St. Louis is that final team in the playoff spot? I think it's honestly, it seems like it's leaning 65-45 or 35. Sorry, it's 110%.
I was gonna say 75-25.
Really?
They've been so hot as of late that they got to cool down, but I don't see them cooling down.
I mean, I'm not terrible. I'm not going to lock them in as the team that makes it because I think the other teams have games in hand, and all it takes is for St. Louis to lose a couple of those games, and boom, Vancouver or Calgary's right there. So, yeah, I'm not putting it all on the line for St. Louis to get that final spot, but right now it looks like those are the real odds of what is going to happen. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Any more thoughts on the St. Louis Blues?
Nope.
Okay. We need to talk about what is happening in New York. There was controversy on Monday about the Kyle Palmeri no goal call. Now, Carter, have you seen the goal? Okay, I got to send it to you real quick. So let me go and find that first and send that to Carter. But I do have a couple of things to talk about. So 9 seconds left in the game. Kyle Palmeri, or the Islanders and the Blue Jackets are tied in a very important playoff race. And honestly, if the Islanders get that win, they tie the Canadiens for that second wildcard spot, and they get in there as that team. And at the same time, you got the Blue Jackets there too, who have really struggled. They've lost a lot of games in a row. They haven't really been the greatest since, obviously things have gone underway for them so far. And it's been a huge controversy with how they've struggled. And it's tied 2-2 late. Kyle Palmeri scores a goal with 4 seconds left to make it a 3-2 game in favor of the New York Islanders. But the goal gets waved off due to goaltender interference. And it's a little bit of a controversial one. Patrick Waugh lost his mind on the bench. And it went from the Islanders getting essentially, 2 points in regulation to the Blue Jackets not only getting 1 point in extra time to the Blue Jackets winning in the shootout. So Carter, I just sent it to you. I do have a couple photos that I want to show. Once I pull them up here, I kind of lost them in my feed, but I want you to watch them.
He's outside the
crease. Because
he's outside the crease.
Watch the replay first.
No, I was just saying what they said.
I want to know. This is really. It's the overhead view that really says it all.
Mm-hmm. So, realistically, he's given enough time to reset. On the other side, too, it's there's also, he does go into the crease. He's not skating directly over it, but a part of his body goes over it. And that's the goalies. But at the same time, that he had time to reset. So I can see both sides of the argument. I think for the sake of him making contact with the goalie, you call it. But, I can see both sides of the argument there.
So that's the verdict? Do you think that it should not count?
My verdict is I don't know. But I think from an NHL ref perspective and for the future of the game, I think any contact with the goalie is contact. But I do think that he was given enough time to get set.
All right, let me get these photos in order here, and then I'll show them off for the show. All right, here we go. Let me just do this. I'm sorry, I should be more prepared for sure. Okay, let's start off with this one. So you can tell in this photo that Palmeri, he is going into the crease. You can see right around here. I hope you guys can see my cursor. You can see right around in the spot close to Merzlikin's blocker side. You can see Palmeri is going to go into the crease no matter what, and that's a no-no. But you see players do that a lot of times before. And I mean, like, if you're not like deep into the crease, like you're not like in this part or going down like below by the goal line of the net. No, you're just kind of creating a net front screen. You do budge Merzlikins a little bit, but it wasn't anything that was like overly serious, at least in my opinion. Now you move into this next photo. You can tell Palmeri kind of does bump into him a little bit. And you can see here, he's right in front of him. He's not making any real contact. He is making contact, but nothing that should throw Merzlikins off like an insane amount, at least in my opinion. And then you go to this third and final photo where Merzlikins actually gives him a push. And I think this is really what set Islanders fans off, in a sense that I don't know. I don't like, how is that getting called back when Merzlikins interfered with him? Here's my thing. I've been thinking about this a lot. My initial reaction was that no, it's not a good goal. But then my reaction afterwards was he's in the crease. We've seen goals like that get called for. But the thing is, you don't have a clear way of calling it, because we have seen that same exact play get called for no goal many times before. We have also seen that exact play get called for a good goal. So honestly, it's at the referee's discretion. And I don't think that's okay. I think there should be legitimate rules around what a referee can do, how the call is actually made. And they even went to the decision room in Toronto, and Patrick Waugh even said that, quote, if the decision room is scared to call back goals, then we don't need them. So, again, I think that should be a good goal. I mean, I get why some people are saying that it's not a good goal, but I think that in the way of it, he didn't interfere with Merzlikins enough to throw him off completely. I think Merzlikins, even with the pushback, may have interfered with himself even more, not being ready for the shot on net. And I think that's what's at fault. But just overall, I think it's very controversial. I think that the NHL kind of screwed up here. And that, I think, is a result as to why guys like Palmeri and Patrick Waugh didn't get fined. Because if they said those things, and like, I thought they were going to get fined, to be honest with you. We didn't see any of that get dished out. And honestly, what I said to that was like, maybe the NHL saying to them like, yeah, it's a crap rule, so we're not going to fine you. Boom, you're even. But overall, it was very controversial for me. I was not a fan of that whatsoever when that underwent. Okay, let's move on from that. We have a special segment that we're going to go into here where the NordCast went through their award ballot. So we did this a little bit weirdly. We literally recorded this right before we started this episode. So that's why Jack was here for a little bit and then he dipped after the Tortorella thing. But that being said, we're going to push it over to that. Here is the NordCast award ballots for the 2024-25 season. Alrighty, welcome back. So today the NordCast is doing their award ballots for the 2024-25 season. Now, yes, we know the regular season is not over yet. When you're probably listening to this, there's about 2 or 3 weeks left. But we're doing it right now because we did the same last year, and last year created a lot of clips. Anthony stole ours. So
Yep.
we're hoping to have some clips here again, but also just a fun discussion about our overall list. So we're going to be doing the Jack Adams, the Calder, the Vezina, the Norris, and the Hart Trophy all in that order. So let's hop right into it, starting off with the Jack Adams, which goes to the best coach in the NHL. We're not going to do it like, number 5. We're not going to share our number 5. When you go through your list, you're just going to go through your whole top 5, and then we'll take turns. So I'll give it to Jack to start, the big Cubs fan here. His season's already started in pain, so you might as well.
It's been a great start.
Yeah, give him some time to go first. Jack, what is your top 5 for the Jack Adams?
All right. For Jack Adams, I only have 3, actually. The last 2 didn't really speak to me, I guess. But number 1, I got Spencer Carberry of the Washington Capitals. Number 2, I got Scott Arniel. And number 3, I got Pete DeBoer.
Ooh, okay. So tell us why you have those guys at those numbers.
Well, I think Carberry is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, what he's doing with the Capitals is just awesome to see, and that was a team who's been pretty mid the last couple of years, and all of a sudden they're first in the league. So I think he's done a great job with that team, and they just mesh so well together, and I think a lot of that has to do with coaching. And then Arniel with Winnipeg. Carter can probably get more into this, but I mean, he's done a great job this year, similar to what Washington's doing, I'd say. And then Pete DeBoer at number 3. Dallas has been good the last couple of years, and I think this is a year where they make a really deep run. So,
okay, Carter, what's your list looking like?
Yeah, so at number 5, I got Hiller for the LA Kings, 40, 21, and 9. I think that didn't really expect much out of LA, so it was nice to have them there. 4, I got Travis Green from Ottawa, 37, 28, and 5. He's been really good there, and he's kind of really helped change the tide, turn the ship around, and really made them look like a scary team in the East. At number 3, I got Jim Montgomery, 38, 27, and 7. But when he took over, since he took over, they've been 28, 16, and 6. So they've definitely been improving and have been the best team since the Four Nations break. At number 2, I have Spencer Carberry from Washington. I think this one's self-explanatory. They're the best team points-wise in the league. Skill-wise, they can't beat my number 1 in Scott Arniel. I think both of those coaches are very interchangeable. I think that everyone kind of expected a big fall-off out of Winnipeg, especially after their performance, and then Rick Bowness leaves, and it's like, well, where are they going to go for coaching? And I think Scott Arniel really hit it perfectly. And then as going back to Spencer Carberry, again, I think that he's done a heck of a job for Washington, as no one really saw Washington as a big threat in the East, and I think that he's really made them the number 1 team to beat in the East.
I already wrote down Arniel before you said Arniel, because I just knew it was coming. But, yeah, I'm shocked Montgomery's on the list for you, because he's done a really good job with the Blues, but he came in there midway through. I can't really remember the last time a guy who was hired midway through the year ended up getting the Jack Adams or being a finalist in Carter's sense. We had the conversation with Chris Knobloch last year because the Oilers had an unreal comeback from where they were. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see Montgomery at least be in there as a finalist. I definitely think he's going to get some votes, especially without St. Louis has been on this hot streak. I think he could get some votes for sure. My top 5, number 5 for me, and this really bars on if they make the playoffs, but they kind of fall into number 5 for me, just in a sense that they haven't been that great recently. Dean Evison of the Columbus Blue Jackets. If you told me at the beginning of the season that Evison was going to be, or that Columbus was going to be in the playoff race, I would have been shocked. So I think Evison gets a lot of credit there. You obviously start off with a tragedy with the passing of Johnny Gaudreau, and the Blue Jackets rally around that, and they seem to go on this just awesome run that they were on throughout most of the season, and it was great. However, recently they have kind of fallen off a little bit and haven't been as great, and looking like it's not going to be good for them to make the playoffs. So they're like, I look at him in a light as I did John Tortorella last year, to where him being a finalist or him winning it completely barred on if his team made the playoffs. And I think it's the same thing there for Evison and the Blue Jackets as well. Number 4, I actually went with, and hear me out on this one, I went with Marty St. Louis from Montreal. Nobody expected Montreal. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people didn't expect Montreal to be where they are right now. And to be honest, if they do break into the playoffs, I think there is a very good chance that Marty St. Louis will win the award, honestly, because I think that a lot of people expected for Montreal to be decent, but nobody expected them to really be above 500, be in the wild card race. Nobody really expected that. And now we see how, the team has played with St. Louis. I think that he should be in the conversation, at least as of right now. Number 3, I'm kind of repeating the same things the guys have been repeating, but Travis Green at number 3 for the Ottawa Senators. It really wasn't that big of a surprise that Ottawa finally broke into the playoffs and is likely going to make it this year. Again, there's a lot of time left in the season. They could very well fall out of the race even still. They have 12 more games left, but overall, I think that the way the Senators have kind of turned it around has been incredible, and Travis Green's been in the front of that. There were a lot of doubters when Green was hired as the head coach, and seeing him come in and become that guy, I think, has been awesome. Number 2, I know we all have the same top 2, to be honest. I'm going with Scott Arniel at number 2. Nobody really expected for the Jets to be where they are right now, and they've kind of come out of nowhere in these last couple of whole season and have just been awesome, breaking the franchise record for the most wins or most longest win streak. I believe they can break their franchise record for the most. Carter, do you know their franchise record for the most wins in a season?
50-some?
Yeah, so I think it's more likely than not that they do break that record. I think they're 1 or 2 wins away from 50. So, yeah, Arniel has been great this year, coming in for Bonus, who retired. And we felt like there was going to be a regression with the Winnipeg Jets, but we definitely didn't think they were going to be first or second in the NHL. And the number 1, Spencer Carberry. To be honest, I had Carberry and the Capitals finishing just outside of the playoffs, just looking in, and I didn't really think they were going to do much of anything, and they have looked just so consistent and so successful throughout the entire season. So I'm going with Spencer Carberry there at number 1. So to recap, the Jack Adams Award for each of us. Jack has Carberry 1, Arniel 2, DeBoer 3. Carter has Arniel 1, Carberry 2, Montgomery 3, Green 4, Hiller 5. And then I have Carberry 1, Arniel 2, Green 3, St. Louis 4, and then Evison 5 for the Jack Adams. So that's 1 award. We got 4 to go, I'm pretty sure here. Now we're going to move into the Calder Trophy, which has been one that for me has been a little bit controversial. The Calder Trophy is based off of the Rookie of the Year award. Jack, I got to ask, do you have 5 for this one?
I do have 5.
Okay, good. All right, give me your top 5 for the Calder, but go 5 to 1. I forgot to mention
5 to 1? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5, you guys aren't going to like this one. It's Cutter Gauthier. He's young. He's younger than most rookies, and I think he's had a really good year with Anaheim. Definitely a bright spot for them. Number 4, I got Michkov. You guys are going to love that one. He's had a good year. Everyone, I think, expected him to have a decent year, but I think he's gone a little bit above expectation, so he's going to take my 4th spot. What?
I was like, Tortorella.
Oh, yeah.
Because I blame him for why he hasn't been as good as he...
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. He could easily be higher. And then number 3, Dustin Wolf. He's had a great year for a goaltender. I like him a lot. He's a good goalie. And then number 2, Lane Hudson. Lane Hudson's just been unreal. And I think he would win the Calder if Macklin Celebrini was not a rookie. So,
ooh, okay, I like that. All right, Carter, I'm very intrigued to hear your list. I hope you don't have Cutter Gauthier at number 5.
No, Cutter Gauthier is actually last in my Calder rankings, like below someone with 0. So number 5, I got Will Smith, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. He's been very helpful in that Sharks team. He's really had some bright spots after a slow start. Number 4, I got Matvei Michkov, 20 goals, 31 assists for 51 points. He's looked very solid as well. I think that, without, as we said, Tortorella, he'd be playing at a much higher level. Like, he'd probably be close to 40 points and 25 goals, but he's been getting sat a lot. So not very ideal there. Number 3, I got Macklin Celebrini, 21 goals, 31 assists for 52 points. He's been very good after his injury and everything. He came back and he looked absolutely unreal. So glad to see that he didn't really lose any steps. Number 2, I got Dustin Wolf, 24 wins, a 2.64 goals against average, and a 911 save percentage. He's been really good for Calgary. One of the biggest reasons that they're still even in the playoff race right now. And then number 1, I got Lane Hudson, 5 goals, 49 assists for 54 points. Unbelievable as a rookie. And just the way that he skates and how he's really helped change the game for Montreal, especially on that back end, has really, really shown up.
You got you had Mitchkov at 4, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of missed that. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we all have different, or Carter and Jack have different number 1s. We'll see what mine is in a second
And
here.
2s and 3s.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. So, you
And
guys
5s.
are like very versatile. Yeah, indeed, actually. The only one you guys agree on is Mitchkov. And I agree on Mitchkov at number 4, too. We'll get into that in a second. My top 5, number 5, I also have Cutter Gauthier, unfortunately. I think he's been a good spot for Anaheim this year. I think that he's been a little bit slow, including talking shit to the Flyers. I mean, effed around and found out, but he still had a decent year this year. I think he's shown that he has a bright future ahead for sure. Number 4, I hate to do it. It breaks my heart, but I got to go with Matvei Michkov at number 4. I don't think it's entirely his fault as to why he's at number 4. He first off picked the wrong year to come in and be the rookie for the Flyers because Dustin Wolf's lighting it up, Celebrini's playing great, and Hudson's breaking defenseman records. And also, too, I do blame a lot of it on Tortorella for trying to bench him and not giving him enough time on the ice to show off his creativity and all that. I do think he leads the he's second in goals. He was leading the goals at one point in the Calder race, but anyways. Number 3, I got Macklin Celebrini as well. I think for Celebrini, to be honest, he is very talented. He's actually doing a lot in lesser games than a lot of these other players. So I think you got to give credit there to Celebrini, but I value these other 2 players more than I value him. Number 2, I'm going with Dustin Wolf. I think Wolf, honestly, he could very well win the Calder Trophy. I think if Calgary gets into the playoffs and Wolf kind of backstops them there the rest of the way, I could see it. But it seems like St. Louis has kind of run away with that Calder race. I mean, I don't really know, or the Calder race, the Western Conference race. So I don't really know there. And then at number 1, I got Lane Hudson, who has been breaking defenseman records, has been racking up assists, making plays. I've seen a lot of criticism online about his defensive play and how he is not good defensively and all that. And I get that on a level, but here's the unfortunate truth. The Calder, a lot of what the Calder Trophy is based off of is just points. Whoever's leading in points, you're almost guaranteed a finalist. It doesn't really look at the all-around play. I'm sure there's going to be some players and some voters who are going to vote that way, but you look at Hudson, he's on Montreal. He's had a great offensively touted season. Maybe his defensive game is something he can improve on, but I think the offensive side of a defenseman like Hudson's game is going to put him ahead of everybody else in the fact that he's just running away with everything there. So, yeah, that is the Calder Trophy rankings for all 3 of us. Let's jump into the Vezina Trophy. The Vezina Trophy is the one that I'm very intrigued about. The Vezina Trophy is awarded to the best goaltender. So we'll let Jack go first, and let's see what he's got for this time. Jack, what is your top 5 for the Vezina?
5-1.
Yes.
Okay, number 5, I got Joey Dackard. Before the trade, he was excellent. He's kind of regressed a little bit, but he's still been very good this year. Number 4, Philip Gustafson from Minnesota. He's had a great year. Also a pretty solid defense core around him, which helps his case. Number 3, Andre Vasilevsky. A little bit of a bounce-back year for him. He's always been so good, and, yeah, I have him at my 3 spot. Number 2, Logan Thompson from Vegas has had a very good year. And then number 1, pretty self-explanatory, is Connor Hellebuck.
Good job, Jack. No off-the-board picks. And I guess Dackard's kind of off the board, but I like that.
Yeah.
Dackard's been decent this year.
Mm-hmm.
for Seattle, even though they've been absolutely hot garbage. He still put up really good numbers. All right, Carter, what do you got?
All right. Well, I feel like I'm going to be taking over and getting clipped here. My number 5, I got Darcy Kemper, 25 wins, a 210 goals against average, and a 919 save percentage. He's been really good for the LA Kings there. He's really been a big bright spot on that back end. Dustin Wolf is going to be my number 4. I think that he can crack the top 5. It might be a little bit harder now that they're a little bit further out of the playoff race, but he's got a good test against Dallas, I think, tonight, if he does start. So if he plays really well, I think that that's really going to help his case for the Vezina as well. Number 3, I got Andrei Vasilevsky, 34 wins, 2.22 goals against, and a 920 save percentage. He's looking absolutely unreal. Not exactly like the amount of wins that you expect out of Andrei Vasilevsky, but he's been performing really well and is right at the heels of my number 1. But before that, my number 2, Logan Thompson, 31 wins, a 2.32 goals against average, and a 917 save percentage. Again, that Washington team is so good, and he's been absolutely unreal between the pipes for them as well. He made when I watched the Jets Capitals game, he made a lot of very good saves and just looked absolutely unreal as well. And then my number 1, I think it's obvious, it is Connor Hellebuck, 41 wins, a 206 goals against average, and a 924 save percentage. It would be unbelievable if we could get him to like below 2 goals against average, but that seems pretty impossible right now. So yeah.
I mean, at one point he had more shutouts than he did regulation losses, which is just like just
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like actually like almost illegal that he's playing that good. Yeah, I like that. I'm glad I'm not the only one that had Dustin Wolf in their top 5, because I had Wolf at number 5. I mean, again, like how valuable he's been this year to the Calgary Flames, it's unmatched. I even saw some people talking like about how he could get hard votes. And I'm going to be blunt right now. I did not put Dustin Wolf in my top 5. But I don't think it's crazy that he does get votes and ends up being like a player that does getting a couple of votes in there. But I'm not saying that he's going to be like top 5 or win the Hart Trophy. That won't happen. But I think he's definitely like one of the guys like outside of the top 5 that may be in the conversation. Number 4 for me, I actually went with Mackenzie Blackwood from Colorado. I think he looked good in the first couple of games there in San Jose, and then was obviously traded over to the Avalanche and has been pretty good coming over there since. I think he's kind of changed a lot of things for the Avalanche. You can maybe argue that, he's in front of a really good team and all that, and I guess I get that argument, but I think Blackwood at number 4 is nice. I actually have Logan Thompson at number 3. I like how Thompson's played this year. I do think, though, he has cooled off a little bit, comparatively speaking. He still has very good numbers, still has been a very good goalie this year, but he's kind of cooled off, in my opinion, which is why I have Andrei Vasilevsky at number 2. Vazzy, for me, has had an awesome year with Tampa Bay, especially down this stretch in the second half of the year. And then at number 1, I don't think it should come as a surprise to literally anybody whatsoever, but I have Connor Hellebuck at number 1 there. Just I think that it's like it's almost consensus that he is going to win the that he's going to win the Vezina. Honestly, Carter, I got to ask you this one thing though, because I'm not allowed to bet. What is like the betting odds for Hellebuck to win the Vezina? Because it's probably like
it's like minus 2,000 or something crazy.
Yeah,
I'll check right now.
Weird. So yeah, like that just clearly shows that the odds of him getting the Vezina trophy is like it's almost confirmed at this point. Like it'd be a massive shocker if he doesn't end up winning the award.
I think it was like minus 4,000 when I checked.
Yeah, it's wild. So
Yeah.
I think like
I don't even know. I can't even check on here.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can like bet on it. So yeah, that's like the craziest part. Okay, let's move on from that to the Vezina trophy, the Norris trophy. We just did the Vezina. The Norris is based off of the league's best defenseman. So we'll let Jack go first. Jack, who are your top 5 defenders this season?
Number 5, I got Josh Morrissey. He's been having a great year on a pretty good team. And then number 4, I got Evan Bouchard. He's really proven himself. I think last year everyone was kind of shocked that he had such a good year, but now this year it's like he's proved himself. This guy's a solid defenseman, and he's putting up the points too. So, and then number 3, I got Zach Werenski. He's been unreal this year. Just such an all-around player, and he's really carried that Columbus team this year to where they are. And number 2, I got Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes has always been so good. And number 1, I got Kale McCarr.
Ooh, okay. All right. Carter, what's your list looking like?
Well, number 5, I got the trophy that this guy is named after, Josh Norrisy. 12 goals, 43 assists, 55 points. He's been the best defenseman on the Winnipeg Jets for so long and a true number 1. Number 4, I got Rasmus Dahlin, one of the few bright spots on the Buffalo Sabres roster. 13 goals, 42 assists, 55 points as well. Number 3 and 2 are very close for me. But at number 3, I'm going to go Zach Werenski. I think he's been a very big, important part to this Columbus team. 20 goals, 49 assists for 69 points. And then number 2, I got Quinn Hughes. He's dealt with a lot of injuries this time, but I think that you take him off of this Vancouver team, and they're actually horrible. 16 goals, 52 assists, 68 points. And then my number 1, I think it's obvious, Kale McCarr, 27 goals, 55 assists for 82 points. Literally the best defenseman in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, I can totally see that. All right, my list is a little bit different than theirs, but not necessarily at number 5. Number 5, I also have Josh Morrissey. I think Morrissey's had an incredible year. It's really unfortunate that he's playing in a league where Kale McCarr and Adam Fox exist, or Kale McCarr and Quinn Hughes and Werenski, all of them exist, because otherwise he would be winning the Norris Trophy left and right, but it's just the way it is, and unfortunately he's not able to get in there and get maybe he'll get one towards the end of his career, but it doesn't seem like that's very likely, at least as of right now. Number 4, I've been balancing around number 4 a lot. I'm gonna go with Rasmus Dahlin. I don't trust Bouchard's defensive game. Again, I know the Norris Trophy is just a lot of it is just points, to be honest with you, so I get that. But I think overall, I gotta go with Dahlin at 4. Number 3, and this is where things get very, very interesting for me. I have been thinking about this a lot this week, and there haven't been a lot of shell shockers. Give me Quinn Hughes at number 3. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that he's had a great season, has been immensely valuable to the Vancouver Canucks, but I just think the other 2 above him have been more valuable, as well as that too. Quinn Hughes has been missing some games as well. Number 2, give me Werenski. I think Werenski is just the year he's had since, the start of the year has been just absolutely unbelievable. He's been immensely valuable to the Columbus Blue Jackets on what is a terrible blue line. And then number 1, I got Kale McCarr. Honestly, I could see a world where you swap McCarr and Hughes. I may end up even doing that, but right now I'm going with McCarr at number 1 for my list there for the Norris. All right, moving on then to the final award in our little ballot lister thing here. We got the Hart Trophy. So I'm going to let Jack take it away here for the final award. Jack, what do you got?
Yeah, number 5, I got Connor McDavid. Kind of an off year for him. I wouldn't say off year, just injuries have kind of not helped his chances at all of winning it this year. The number 4, I got his teammate Leon Draisaitl. He's been good this year. Number 3, Nikita Kucherov. I feel like every game that guy plays, he gets 2-3 points. He's been very good. And then number 2, I actually have Connor Hellebuck. I think it's hard to not consider him for the Hart this year. And then number 1, I got Nathan MacKinnon. I think he's leading points from second place by 10 or something like that. So 6. Okay. Well,
Close
same
enough.
thing.
You say Kucherov at 3?
Yes, Kucherov at 3.
All right, I missed that. Okay, Carter, what do you got?
All right. So number 5, I got Zach Werenski. Again, I think that he's been the MVP for Columbus this year. I know I didn't have him over Hughes or Makar or anything, but again, those guys are playing with some very good players, and Werenski really doesn't have a guy like Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, or Nathan McKinnon, Natchez, anything like that, right? Werenski's kind of by himself, so I think that he deserves to be there. Number 4, I got Nikita Kucherov, 31 goals, 70 assists, 101 points. He's been very good for Tampa this year. Could end up winning the Art Ross if he gets hot here late. So we'll see what happens with that. Number 3, I got the Rocket Richard winner, Leon Draisaitl, 49 goals, 52 assists for 101 points as well. Goal scoring is absolutely unbelievable from this guy. I think he scores from everywhere on the ice, so very impressed with him. Number 2, I have Nathan McKinnon, 29 goals, 78 assists for 107 points. He is going to probably win the Art Ross and is the second MVP in the league, but I don't think that we can take away from this generational season from Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah, I agree. Hellebuyck at number 1. That's a good pick. All right, my top 5. Number 5, I'm actually going with Werenski. So same as Carter there. I think Werenski's had just a insane year. The amount of value that he brings to the Blue Jackets is unmatched. Like, to be honest, where is Columbus right now without Zach Werenski? I don't even think they're even close to a playoff spot. Number 4, I'm going with Draisaitl. And again, this is a little bit difficult. I think Draisaitl can still very well win it. He's an elite goal scorer, elite player. I think he's been awesome. And again, I'm not saying that the gap between Draisaitl and Kucherov, who I have at number 3, is like an insane gap. But to be honest, it's a pretty close gap. But I think that Kucherov is just better than Draisaitl this year. I value Kucherov more than Dry. Number 2, give me Nathan McKinnon. McKinnon's been lighting it up this year. Most points in the league, as Jack said. He's leading by a decent margin there as well. Likely going to be the Ross. Or Ross score. And then number 1, give me Connor Hellebuyck, who has also had a phenomenal season this year. And yeah, that is our award ballots. You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, you guys will see that we have been putting them, like, I put them on a list so you guys can read them off. But yeah, those are our award ballots, and we'll get back with the regularly scheduled episode. We hope you guys enjoyed our award segment there for the podcast. Let's get into some news around the NHL, the power rankings, and a new segment that we are doing that we'll get into here in a little bit. So first off, Jacob Chychrun has signed an 8-year, $9 million contract with the Washington Capitals. And when I saw this, I was a little bit, I don't know, because I do think it's a little bit of an overpay, but I still think overall it's a good contract. Chychrun's had a really good year so far with the Washington Capitals. I think he's like second or third in goals scored by a defenseman this year. He has had a real resurgence. He's putting up career numbers with the Washington Capitals. Bryce Harper, Homer, let's go. For Washington this year. So Chychrun, got to give a lot of credit to how he's been this year. Carter, how do you feel about Chychrun and his signing?
First off, wow, there's a lot of Philly fans there.
Is it in Washington?
Yeah, there's a lot of Phillies fans. That's actually kind of crazy. Sorry, I'll get back to my thing here. Yeah, no, he deserves that contract. He's played really well. I think he deserves every single penny that is given to him there. So, you got to be happy with that. You got to be happy for Chychrun. I think a guy that has constantly been in trade rumors so often. So it was nice to see him get his money. And I think the funniest thing was Alex Ovechkin in the tunnel where he just went, stir. Is fucking hilarious. So that was right before the Jets game too. So maybe now Chychrun will, get some electricity going in his house.
I think it's good now that he has some assurance and that now he knows that he's going to stick around for a long time, because he didn't really have that with Arizona. He didn't really have that with Ottawa. And now he has some assurance that he's going to be there for a long time with the Washington Capitals. So it's good. Definitely a good look there for Jacob Chychrun. Pat Maroon has announced that he is going to retire at the end of the 24-25 season in an emotional interview with Darren Pang. I thought that was great, the interview that he had. Pat Maroon was never a scorer, was always a grit, fourth-line fighter, was in the league for a very long time, won 3 Stanley Cups. Good service. Pat Maroon was fun watching him play, fun watching him seeing to win all those cups. So you got to give credit where it's due. He's had a great run with the NHL, 100%. Going back to Washington, did you see the ESPN Plus OV cast for the 5 Capitals games starting tonight? That thing is freaking cool. So I'll put a picture of it on screen here right now. Basically, what this is going to be is they're going to be showing off the last remaining 5 Capitals games, and we'll include alternate OV things. Like they'll have like stats about the goal record below the screen. They will have facts about the goal record as well, because they're coming up right there. He's 6 goals away, essentially. You're into that point where the countdown is really on for that. So, yeah, definitely something cool that I thought was awesome seeing that in the news. Additionally, too, we talked about Velarde. Did you see the fight between Swayman and Kemper?
The attempted fight? Yeah. That was pretty sick.
How do you feel
I don't know
about
why
that?
they don't... I hate that they don't let them fight. It's fucking annoying. They consent to do it. Let them fight.
A lot of it is like the coaches and the owners, because the owners don't like it when their goalie goes out there and fight, or the GMs, not the owners, who go out there and fight and might get injured. They don't like that. Only the backups can fight, is what I've heard. But even still, come on, let them go. Let them rip it. Honestly, let them rip it. Yeah, Jets clinched. Tortorella's fired. The new OV cast. Was there any news that you wanted to talk about? Wasn't really a ton of
there wasn't a lot of groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah, we already talked about all that stuff. Trending players. I do have one, but do you have any? All right, I got one here. It's from Nikita Grabankin, who in a conference with, I think it was Mark Spector, was asked about the trade from Toronto to Philadelphia, and Grabankin said, quote, "Tree Living telling me, Nikita, you nice guy, but we traded you. I speak, Brad, no problem. Go Leafs go. It's business. I don't worry." So that's Nikita Grabankin right there, new Philadelphia Flyer. I love him. He is going to be so much fun to be on the Flyers in the future. I'm so excited and really looking forward to it. So that's Nikita Grabankin for you guys. And you said you didn't have any trending players?
I don't think so, no. I'm trying to think. But no, I don't.
Okay. All right. Fine with me. Oh, another home run? Kyle
Good
Schwarber.
shot. Schwarby.
Love
They
that.
they just changed their pitcher too. That's not back to back, but that's 2 home runs off first pitch swinging.
That's
Let's
huge.
go.
All right. Let's move into the last topic of this NordCast. We got another segment at the end of the episode that we're going to roll, but let's get into the power rankings here. So the power rankings are based off of the last 10 games, the last couple of weeks, and how teams have been on this stretch. We do it 1 to 10. I went 1 last time, so Carter is going 1 this time. Carter, according to the NordCast power rankings, in your opinion, who has been the best in the NHL?
Okay, so I'm just going to ask this because we're pretty close now to the end of the season. Should we just start doing end of season, or should we just keep it how we've always been doing it?
No, just keep it how we've always been doing it. We'll do an end of the season one when the season's done. But the season's not done yet.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I know.
Just trying to be a nice guy and everything, but whatever. Fine.
I know.
Number 1, St. Louis.
Yeah.
I think hands down, it's not even a question.
Yeah, 7 wins in a row. 8 1-1 in their last 10 games. It's been a great stretch they've been on for the Blues. Number 2, hear me out. Give me the LA Kings. 9 1-0 in their last 10, 4 straight wins. They are hot. heading into the playoffs, and they have some ground on Edmonton. They're 2 points ahead of the Oilers with a game in hand. They might actually end up with home ice advantage this time around. So I'm really looking forward to that. Number 3.
Give me the Vegas Golden Knights at 3.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think that they've been really good.
What's their record in their last 10?
I don't have their last 10, but I have like their last 7, 5-1-1.
Oh, damn. Yeah, they've been awesome on this stretch for sure. Number 4, give me the Washington Capitals, 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've been especially good in the last couple of games. They're still very consistent, still very hot heading into the playoffs. Number 5?
Number 5, give me the Colorado Avalanche, 8-1-1 in their last 10. Plus 19 goal differential, really, really good.
Yeah, I like the Avalanche there at number 5. They have been hot heading into the playoffs as well. It's crazy because they are 5th in the NHL, but 3rd in the Central Division. So like they're going to end up playing Dallas most likely than not, and it's really actually kind of unfortunate because one of those two teams who have both been really good this year are going to get knocked down in the first round. It's kind of wild. Number 6, give me the Winnipeg Jets. I think the Jets have also been really good down the stretch. Not as good as these other teams, but I think they've still been great. Number 7.
Give me the Carolina Hurricanes, 7-2 in their last 9, 11 goal differential. Been playing some very good hockey as of late.
They are coming off of a loss to Nashville, but you have those fluke games here and there, so I'm not really worried about those, to be honest with you guys. Number 8, who do I want to put? Give me the Calgary Flames. 4 wins in a row, 6-2-2 in their last 10. Flames should be in there. And for your last pick at number 9.
Did you say the Stars yet?
I have not said the Stars.
Give me the Stars.
Okay, number 9. They are 6-2-2 in their last 10, 3 wins in a row. Had a great win last night against the Oilers. And then for me at number 10, I'll go with the... Give me... I don't know. I'll go with... I completely lost it. I'll go with Ottawa, who is 7-3-0 in their last 10. They did lose the other night to Buffalo, but still had a good season so far. So our number 10, our 1 to 10 in the power rankings for this week: Blues 1, Kings 2, Golden Knights 3, Capitals 4, Avalanche 5, Jets 6, Hurricanes 7, Flames 8, Stars 9, Senators 10. So that is your power rankings for this week, and that is basically it for this episode of the NordCast. Carter, any final thoughts?
Go Jets.
Go Jets. Love it. All right, we'll be back next week with episode number 99. But first, one more thing here to wrap up this episode of the pod. Starting off for the next couple of weeks, up until the end of the season, we are going to be doing segments called the Royals Rundown. Now, you guys know that I have credentials with the Reading Royals this season in the ECHL. I worked very hard to get them, and I'm very happy that I have them. So I get to use player interviews and things like that in these podcasts. So we're going to start doing that now. We're going to have segments at the end of every show talking about the Reading Royals. We'll probably throw them in before the power rankings next week, but I wanted to get the power rankings out of the way first. But yeah, that's it for the NordCast. I'm going to play the Reading Royals Rundown right now. No outro. We're just going to go with the Royals Rundown. But that's it for us. Thank you for watching. Enjoy this segment, and we'll see ya in episode 99 next week.
This is the Royals Rundown, powered by Royals Report.
Well, the Reading Royals wrapped up the final 3 games of what was basically a 9-game homestand over the last 3 weeks, and it definitely could have been better, but it also could have been worse. Let's review. The boys finished with a record of 1-1-1, 1 regulation win, 1 regulation loss, and 1 loss in the shootout over this weekend, which is very serviceable, but when you're in a wild card race, It's not really acceptable. The Royals are currently 1 point back of Worcester and are looking to get into that 4th spot and make the playoffs. But it seems more and more as we go through even more games, it's going to come down until those last 2 games at home against Worcester. But going and looking at this weekend, it was definitely not the performance the Royals wanted. Ideally, you want at least 4 of 6 points, if not all 6 points, and they just couldn't get it done, especially against a team, too, that is lower than you in the standings, is not in a playoff spot, as opposed to Worcester, who just played Trois Rivera for 6 straight games. However, there were some positives to come out of this weekend. Matt Miller scored 2 goals on Friday, had a great performance against the Mariners. They've also been limiting Maine to little to no shots. It seems like even watching through those 3 games, they are already playing that playoff mentality where they're blocking shots. They're not allowing a lot of that. And that's huge to be playing that at the end of March. And Miller elaborated on it even more. Take a look.
How important is it to already be playing that style at this point in the year?
It's very important. A lot of the goals are, as you see, just scored right in front of the net. They're greasy. It's a war out there. So I think that the 1-goal games, the close games that we've been winning or at least getting points in recently have been huge for us, and we're just building up momentum, hopefully, to get that last playoff spot. So, yeah, we got to keep it going.
The Royals then go on their last road trip of the season, playing in Norfolk with that makeup game. Then they go to Wheeling for the weekend. So they need as many points as they can possibly get. But this is the first edition of the Royals Rundown. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.